Let's. Okay, we'll fix this real quick. New link inbound. Okay, so yeah, we made a little snafu here. We're going to fix it right now. This is a new stream because I had to lower the frame rate in order to fix this. Because I've been recording games at 120 frames per second and doing some experimentation. Hey, question, is this the same stream? Hey, is this the same stream, or did you have to click a new one? I'm hoping I did that it's the former. I'm going to double check, but that would be tremendously convenient if I don't have to fire up a new stream right now. Okay, I gotta delete the old stream because that one is kind of useless right now. I'm gonna actually mark it private real quick so that it doesn't actually come up on the feed, but I don't actually cause any disruptions. But let me see what Padawannabe said. Did he say it was the same stream? Because that would be superbly convenient if it was. Like, that would save me a ton of effort. This is new. I got a new notification. Okay. No problem. We're going to have to... I got to fix the other streams. Ah, bummer. Maybe we'll just do without Rumble tonight. We don't really need to have Rumble, but I like to have X. Hey, what up, Karumi? Good to see you, man. We got a real treat tonight. I had a little inconvenience where I accidentally ran the stream at the wrong frame rate, so I'm going to remedy that. Karumi, good to see you, man. We got a real... Oh, good. The Rumble stream looks like it resumed. Real treat tonight. I had a little inconvenience where I accidentally... But let me see what Padawannabe said. Did he say it was the same stream? Because that would be superbly convenient if it I mean, was. I think I can sort this out later. I think we're streaming to all the big platforms right now, so whatever. As long as we're streaming to the big platforms, it's not a real issue. I just want to make sure that I'm not, like, leaving anyone out who's on another platform. The other stream says private. Yep, good. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure because it has the same file, same stream name. I don't want it getting mixed up in the system. I was going to straight up delete it, but... I don't want to, like, you know, like, cause this stream to get screwed up, you know? In absence of, you know, logical, whatever you want to call it. Okay, good. We just got 2 straight-up streams, so we're going to just delete one on Twitter. Okay, this is fine. I can live with myself here. Oh, okay, wait. I got to do one more link sharing, and then we're good to go. I got to reshare the link on Twitter X right now because of the snafu that I just did. So how's everyone doing tonight? You guys doing all right? I hope you're having a wonderful night. Hope you guys are, you know, either off from work or have a easy day at work. Yeah, so as I was saying, this is a Easter egg from the Star Trek PC CD-ROM Star Trek Borg. And Star Trek Borg is a full motion video experience. That's the box art for it right there. You can see it's got a Borg. And it's got John Delancey as, like, you know, basically the actor in the video. And just to give you an idea, when you play from disc 1 of this game, this is what you're going to see, something like this.
Priority message, USS Canali to USS Cheyenne. We are under attack by Borg forces. Repeat, Borg forces. We intercepted 2 Borg vessels heading on a direct course for Sector 001. Subspace signal is too weak. Navigator to Starfleet Command. If you can read us, do not, repeat, do not send
Okay, hang in there one more second. I'm just getting things organized.
Repeat, the Borg have returned.
And basically, it's just a straight up movie, and you interact with it. So, for example,
Starfleet has successfully defeated the Borg twice before.
then
Guess we're
you're sent home because you got to pack your bags.
Packing up. Time to head on out. Time to ship off.
So they're sending him back to Earth because they know his dad died in the war during the last battle with the Borg at Wolf 359.
Dad.
How old were you when your father was killed? 9, 10 years old? And you're still not over it? Perhaps I should introduce myself. I imagine you've heard of me, though. Q? It's short for Q. It was I, you know, who introduced Picard to the Borg, and it's...
And then basically the first interactive step, let's just go straight to the interaction because... Okay. Good, here we are.
Bipedal hominid sentient. Yet still barbaric bipedal hominid wouldn't. You can run away with the others like a scared trog, or you can come with me, cadet. The choice is yours.
Right, so the gameplay is that we have to choose things.
If you click the bag, Q calls you a wimp, and then you get an opportunity to redo. If you click the phaser, he gives you a pat on the back, and the game begins. So that's the full motion video experience, and credit to Super Great Find, because that's the YouTube channel whose video I just pulled up, at random in order to show you the video experience. And you can see this video runs for at least like a good 40. Oh, he does go. Look at this. This guy goes over the very thing I'm going over right now. Well, we're going to get to that in a minute. I don't know how this guy's running it or if he's running it. In fact, I don't think he is. I think he's missing the key elements. Did he click on the pictures? Oh, he didn't click on any pictures. He's just reading articles here. So the Picard dossier is what we're going to look at in a moment. And when you click on the pictures, there are bugs or it just doesn't work right. I fixed that, or I did some things today to make it work. So we're going to get right into that. So now that we got that out of the way, here's my Windows 98 virtual machine. Now you're going to notice we have these bars on the corner of the screen here, right? We got these little bars on the left, the right, the top, these color bars. Why would I have color bars on the screen, you might ask? Well, let's open up the application and see what happens.
Now establishing data link. Memory Alpha. Welcome to the Federation Omnipedia database. Accessing. Ready.
Now you see why I have those little color bars, right? See? Like just kind of fills in. Otherwise, you just get this little black box surrounding everything. Can anybody hear the audio, by the way? I want to make sure you guys heard the computer voice. That is the voice of Majel Barrett, the mother of Star Trek. If Majel Barrett is the mother of Star Trek, that would make Lucille Ball the grandmother of Star Trek. But just please confirm, guys, that you got that audio, because if you didn't, then no bueno, right? But I'm assuming you got the audio because the VU meter says you guys got audio. So anyway, this is an application on disc 2 of the game. And oddly enough, like, too loud. Oddly enough, the item on disc 2, when you install it, it kind of works and it kind of doesn't. Like, it's one of these things that, like, can be hit or miss. And so I have, like, do I have disc 2? No, I don't have disc 2 inserted right now, although it doesn't really matter. Okay, well, I don't know. I lowered the volume, all right? Thank you, James, for your feedback. If it's still too loud, I'll lower it some more, Where's the YouTube chat? We got to update the YouTube chat because I created a new stream there. Well, I want to make sure the audio is not too low. That would be kind of annoying if nobody heard the audio, because this is the voice of Majel Barrett, and that's like the priority today, is hearing the sound effects in their full glory. So I lowered it by like 1.5 dB. I don't want to make it too low. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's about right. It's about on par with my volume level. And that's all. I don't want it to be like louder than me, but I don't want it to be so low. I'll make it 1.7 dB. I'm not going any lower, I don't think. Okay, 1.8. I just broke that promise. But yeah, I want to say hello to Pop Coach Mechanic Curtis YZ Reacts, who is often on deck with the jokes right there. What up, Slim Nim? James, Pop Coach Mechanic, Kavumi, good gamer. He's a good gamer. The Padawannabe, who was the first person here, or the second person maybe, after I started a new stream. See, look, it says you're back. Actually, Wade was the first one here. So yeah, anyway, let's roll. Ooh, it's hot in here today. I open the window a little bit. Phone speakers are different from TV speakers by quite a bit. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you can't customize everything for everyone, right? But, you know, logically, if someone's wearing headphones, and my biggest concern is this: when you listen to a stream and one person is speaking, you know, their volume level is a little low and another person is really loud, because then you got to lower it so that loud person isn't too loud, but then you can't hear the low person. And, you know, so that could be a pain to balance sometimes, right? But yeah, here we go. Ooh, I tightened my watch too much. Actually, do I have? No, I don't. I used to have a Star Trek theme on my watch that looks just like this. All right, so let's roll. So we're going to read some articles. We're going to start with something simple. Something real simple like Pickard. Pickard, Gene Luck. I'm kidding. I know it's Jean-Luc Picard. What up, some person? Good to see you. Some person is some person. You are some person, some person. But jokes aside, a friend of all who knows him. Yeah, right. It's a pretty nice LCARS setup. And so here's the caveat. So we got a picture of Picard at the bottom of the screen. When I click on it, we get a picture. This did not work initially. So first time I tested this out, I did it in the Windows 98 virtual machine. And then I decided to do it in Windows 95, thinking that maybe there was some, you know, caveat, some idiosyncrasy, something that was just off, you know? And it still didn't work. But then I had to brainstorm. I copied the pictures off of the CD-ROM and I put them into the same folder as the program file, as the, you know, executable, you know, file that starts the app. So basically there's a folder on the hard drive called Omniborg, or Borg Omni, which is like basically Borg Omnipedia. And when you install this application, it comes up as two things. It comes up as the Picard dossier and Omniborg. So, you know, I installed it, and then I copied the pictures to the folder, and suddenly the pictures started loading. So I was like, all right. Then the videos, they were like a little bit like not working at first, or non-functional, I should say. But we made progress. Now, it should be noted that you can browse the folders on the CD-ROM. In fact, that's what I did when I was like 12 years old. I would go into the CD-ROM, I'd go into the media folders, and I would just look for stuff, and I would just play movies like this.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation. You once knew him as Picard, captain of the Starship Enterprise, but now he's half man, half machine, a deadly pawn of the evil Borg. His mission, to destroy Earth and anything or anyone who gets in his way. It's the showdown of the 24th century on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
All right, somebody let me know if it's too low as we go along. Let me know if it's too low. I'll bring it back up. But I had to lower it by like 9 dBs. Okay, so I have a feeling the sound effects, we might just have to deal with it. I might have to just manually change the volume periodically. Yeah, I said dossier. I said, what did I say? I said dossier. Dossier? I don't know what the fuck I said. I don't give a shit. I speak English. But jokes aside, I'm pretty sure I said, what did I say? Dossier? Did I say dossier? Look, I know how to read, but anyway. Yeah, if anybody else who's curious. And there's 2 S's in there. But anyway. Dossier. What did I say? Dossier? Dossier? Oh, you're just informing me it's a French word. That's cool. Well, it is a French word. You're right. A lot of English words do come from French. Hey, what up? What up there, Loki? I went through the files just like this. Great to see someone else had that itch. Yeah, Loki. Yo, dude, we're in for a treat. So let's get right back into the encyclopedia, the Borg Omnipedia. What up there, Matt Cave Gaming? So the trick, Loki, and anybody else who might be curious, I have a Windows 95 virtual machine in VirtualBox. So if we go to my right side monitor, you'll see that I have a window running VirtualBox right now. And, well, you know, I already booted it up. But, you know, we'll close QuickTime Player, close this. This is the app. In fact, I think we should exit the app real quick because it has cool sounds.
Deactivation complete. Omnipedia database now disconnected from this terminal.
Okay, so basically I'm using an application called VirtualBox. I had an existing Windows 98 virtual machine. I use the Windows 98 virtual machine to back up N64 memory cards. Unfortunately, this application, for whatever reason, I guess they changed just enough in Windows 98, that I had to use Windows 95. And when I did, here's the trick, guys. So this shortcut points to a folder on the C drive right over here, Borg Omni. And oddly, it's not doing it now. Now I remember. I went into this INI file. I changed the CD-ROM drive. So because it was assuming the drive letter was D, when the drive letter was really drive letter G, the application was assuming that the media files were stored somewhere else. So there's two ways you can fix this. You can either just straight up copy all of the media files into the folder on your C drive here where the executable is located. That seems to do the trick. Or you go into this INI file, StarTrek.ini, and you just specify the revised drive letter. And once you do that, it doesn't have any problem locating all of the media files under media underscore by, all appearances. Now, there's also a couple of weird audio files here. Like, it sounds like some guy's wife or girlfriend. Or random people.
Greetings to Kenny, Callie, and John of Earth. This is Davith of Borg. Prepare to be assimilated and go to bed on time.
It's like some guy telling his kids to go to bed on time. Like, what is that? So let's get back into the application here. Technical notes. -6 is supposed to be about 50% lower.
Now establishing data link. Memory Alpha. Welcome to the Federation Omnipedia
I know that,
database.
but, I don't know what is happening in the back. I'll be honest, I don't know what it's doing. I just know I lowered it by 6 dB because the VU meter was glowing in such a way, as you can see on the bottom screen here. That VU meter was going straight into the yellow zone. Even here, even now, it's in the yellow zone. So without me lowering it by this significant margin, we're in the red zone right there. So that's what I did there. So let's get back on track here now that I've shown that to you. But yeah, I see what you're saying on an analog hardware. Yeah, I could imagine. So anyway, let's roll. So if anybody wants to shout out any articles or anything you want to read about, let me know. But for now, we're just going to look for something with pictures or movies. And so once you point it to the correct drive letter, not only do the thumbnail files work, right? You get the pictures. And you can use this padlock here. This padlock here will keep the picture on screen. I don't think there's any reason to turn off RTX features in this context. This is so out of the depth of that. Although I did have to do a couple of things to ensure that we would get proper sound. What I had to do to configure the sound and to get control over the, display drivers a bit. Oof. Yeah, I did have to do a couple of things, but that was mainly because I wanted to increase the screen resolution. I, in the end, actually found that this particular application works best at 640 by 480. Oh no, yeah, everything works fine in the virtual machine. There's nothing to really change. It's just that whoever mixed the audio in the QuickTime files made it really loud. Like, they're encoded with a mono audio track, and I guess they made it really loud to ensure that any dumb computer could play it. Because you can imagine, back in the day, oh, look, a Romulan warbird. And this is the relevant thing. So we can click on keywords in the articles, like Romulan Neutral Zone, or Romulan Star Empire, or Balance of Terror. No, unfortunately, clicking Balance of Terror does not show us anything cool. Sorry. I wish it did. What up, Lion Ratton? Thanks for dropping in. Tolstoy, USS Tolstoy, 3rd of 5. Huh. Remember 3rd of 5? Good old 3rd of 5. Hanging out with Geordie LaForge. Tebok. Ooh, do we have Tomalak? I want Tomalak. I want to find fucking Tomalak right now. There's no Tomalak? How are you not going to have Tomalak in here? How are we not going to have Andreas Katsoulas? Ah, here's one. Wolf 359, which sounds vaguely like Worf 359. Admiral J.P. Hansen of the Hansen Brothers. Bop.
Working.
Jennifer Cisco. Aw, man, no picture of Jennifer Sisko. That's too bad. What about Q? Q who? Oh, this one is a video clip. We're going to watch a video clip again, guys. So once again, here's Riker and Data kind of hanging out in a Borg ship. And we're going to click on a video clip, all right? You ready to roll? We're ready to roll? Hey, what's up there, Lorenzo Sleece?
Next
Great to see
time on
you.
Star Trek, The Next Generation, the evil Q returns.
What do you want, Q?
Oh,
My purpose
sorry.
is to join you.
No.
And Picard faces Q's wrath when the Enterprise is hurled into a living nightmare.
We have an intruder.
Now the crew is helpless against an invincible race of alien killing machines.
Da, da,
You can't outrun
da.
them. You can't destroy them.
It does skip a little
On
bit,
Star
but
Trek,
it's a vast
The Next
improvement from
Generation.
what I was encountering before. I went through painstaking effort to get it to work this reliably, and actually, I'm not really too upset about a little skipping because compared to before, we're in good shape. Oh, look at that. Cisco on the Defiant. This must be an early picture of the Defiant. And as you can see here, he's got the control panels there. I mean, it's about on par with my sound level right there. Like, it's not any louder than me. I mean, can't really make it any lower than 10 dB. I'm not comfortable doing that. I think then suddenly I'll ruin the stream. But anyway.
Working.
Let's
Working.
roll. And look at that. We got some battle damage. Danger on the bridge. Danger on the
Working.
bridge. Oh, crap. What did I click on?
Working.
Oh, no. Is my mouse pointer misaligned?
Working.
Uh-oh. I might have to exit this. Okay, we fixed it. We fixed it. We're good now. Had a little minor technical issue. Oh, look at Odo there. He's kicking ass right there. Well, it looks like he's getting his ass kicked. But I can assure you that he's on it. He's on it. Odo is on top of it, yo. He's no joke. Rene
Accessing.
Auberjonois.
Search
What a great
complete.
guy. He was good in The Patriot. Now, we can also do entries with video, or we can do found entries up here. Then we can click
Accessing.
Encyclopedia. Sector 001. Oh, look, it's the Earth. It's fake. The Earth is flat. Actually, the Earth is flat. Someone pointed out the other day that the oceans are not carbonated. Therefore, the Earth is indeed flat. That's going to get a mark on this channel.
Accessing. Search complete.
But let's go to entries with video. So I'm gonna try next. Best of both worlds.
They're the most powerful force in the universe.
Did we
Now
watch
the
this
Borg
already?
have the most destructive plan ever to conquer the human race.
You have committed acts of aggression against the United Federation of Planets.
Target 1, the Enterprise.
Direct, Det 9.
Jordy, evacuate engineering.
Target 2, Captain Picard.
Your culture will adapt to service.
Yeah, the audio mastering
You
is
would
just what
rather
it is.
die.
The final target.
Earth.
On the next exciting episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Let's keep going. Ooh, we got MILF status right there. We got Dr. MILF Crusher. I'm guessing that's her middle name. Because she got it. She got it. She got the looks. And I love this. I always love this. When I did my presidential debate stream, I used a picture of Joe Biden next to Lieutenant Data with a power socket plugged into his head because I thought it would look cool. Oh, both my tablets are dead. It's good night. See, if you were on a Starfleet vessel, you would have a personal access display device, and it would be constantly charged using wireless charging technology. But because you, awesome one, didn't have the foresight to buy a pad from the Federation's shop at Sector 001, you must now contend with dead batteries. He must live in that colony where Tasha Yar came from. But jokes aside, there's always a replay, and I appreciate you tuning in. Awesome One was actually one of the first to tune in tonight. In fact, I think he was the first to tune in. It's much blank than after you're going through the YouTube process. I believe the last TNG episode I watched was Family. Oh yeah, we got that. We can look up Family too. We can read about it if we want to read about it. And in fact, there's an article about Robert Picard in there too. Rip me. Well, I hope you have a good night's rest. And I hope it's peaceful. That episode with the Borg named Hugh was really good. Ah, yes. Hugh Grant. I know. No, I remember Hugh. That was a good episode. It was like the question of humanity, and then Starfleet showing up, and Admiral Nishay is all like, oh, you got to turn him in. And then they decide to kind of just go against orders and kind of, I don't know if they went against orders exactly, but they kind of bent the rules and sent Hugh back to where he came. Now that I think about it, did the Borg replace Picard's skin? What they did was they put a glow stick on the side of his neck like this, and then he turned gray. I'm not even kidding. You watch the simulation sequence. They're doing the whole 9 yards. They're putting the implants on. They're putting the eyepiece on. And at one point, you see somebody take a little wooden stick or like a matchstick and go. And the instant they poke the side of his neck, he turns gray. So if you want to justify the events of First Contact, you can pretend that that's the scene where they put nanoprobes inside his body. But, you know, obviously they kind of, you know, the method of Borg assimilation has evolved quite a bit, and one can argue that all of that temporal funny business may have had a role into that. But let's keep watching videos. Did we watch this video yet? Let's just keep going forward. We're going to watch the next one. Ooh, Spock! Stop! Stop! Come on, he's going to say it. He's going to say it? I know this.
Stop! 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 Stop!
See, that was the episode where Data felt emotion, and he's like, I don't know how it happens. So he goes on a holodeck, and he's repeating the exact same. Dude, it's fucking like, I can't do anything about it. Like, it's gonna be loud, man. I mean, like let's test the sound effects real quick. Okay, you know what? We could lower it a little bit, but if it's too loud after this, I mean, like, you know, I can't do anything about it. Okay, call up Simon and Schuster Publishing, because they're the guys who apparently hired the sound mixing team. Have a good night, James. Thanks for tuning in. I mean, look, I could lower it to negative 12 dB, James, but if you're going to leave anyway, I could raise the volume. I don't know. Does the volume bother anyone else? I don't want to raise the volume if James's reports are fully accurate, you know? Well, either way, I mean, you know, we'll compromise. 11 dB. Hey, what up there, Chaos? Good to see you, buddy. I mean, heck, I'll even let it test out my own stream because, as they say, eat your own dog food. Now I'm curious if the sound is too loud. It is interesting that as I lower the sound, it doesn't seem to have a massive corresponding decrease. The issue is that the sound effects are significantly lower. I'm loud. The sound effects here. Listen to this, Chaos. I want more feedback from other people. Just because we want to, see if everyone's in agreement. If it's like a, democracy.
Join forces with the deadliest.
See, that's pretty loud there. I'm not gonna lie. It is a bit loud.
I've helped him to break free.
You look at my VU meter.
To kill the crew without mercy.
You can see the VU meter is like
break his neck
on a
lower than
mission
me.
To destroy the Federation.
So that's why I disagree that it's too loud. I'm going by the VU meter.
Brain cells.
The VU meter is lower than my voice. I'd say that's low enough.
Of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Far out. There we go. Back to the LCARS interface. But that said, I'm gonna play back that last segment of my very own stream, and we're gonna find out right now. I'm gonna find out myself right now. Hey, what's up, LCX? How you doing? Is it trying to stream to my television? Oh crap! It's streaming to the kitchen. I gotta try that again. Segment of my very own stream. That's pretty loud there. I'm not gonna lie. It is a bit loud. I've helped him to break free. You look at my VU meter. No, it's not too bad. You can see the VU meter is like. It's trying to stream to my television. Oh crap! It's streaming to the kitchen. Let's try that again. Okay, I want to hear the computer beeping sounds. No, it's not too bad. I'm sorry, I gotta hear this. Come on, beepy sound. Come on, I want to hear the beeping sound. Yeah, that's okay. That's perfect. Good. Okay, I'm satisfied. That's all that matters. I mean, you guys matter too, but at the end of the day, if I'm satisfied, chances are you're hearing the same thing I'm hearing on my phone. This is what matters. Okay, so let's roll now that we know we have sound within a reasonable margin of reasonable balance. Okay, that's actually reasonable feedback. Would you say, Chaos, that if the video and my voice are of about the same loudness, would you say that I should lower the audio from the game a little bit in order to make it easier for people to hear me? I guess that's my only question. But anywho, let's keep rolling because I got a real treat for you guys right now. The next one's going to be the best. Not the best, but I think this one's a fun episode trailer to watch. Yeah, right, let's go. The episode name is Drumhead. Oh, I got to click on the video.
A mysterious accident uncovers sabotage on the Enterprise.
The Federation does have enemies. We must seek them out.
A ruthless interrogator stops at nothing to find a traitor.
I'm going to get to the heart of this conspiracy.
I'll fight it.
And Captain Picard becomes the target of a Starfleet witch hunt.
I brought down bigger men than you, Picard.
Justice hangs in the balance on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I brought down bigger men than you. I'm sorry, I can't even imitate her. I love the way she says, I brought down bigger men than you, Picard. I just think that's fun. And then, like, that's like the moment in the episode when she loses credibility. Like, everyone realizes, oh shit, this bitch is on a witch hunt, and she's making it fucking obvious. Also, Picard kind of gave one of those big speeches he gives, you know, when he wants to sound smart, and it worked. It worked. All right. So, yeah, that was Drumhead because, you know, let's see if they even tell you what the origin of the term drumhead is. They do not. But apparently, like, old military tribunals, they would do them on the head of a drum or something like that because they didn't have, like, a court desk or a stand. You know, Google it yourself. Let's keep going. Emissary, Part 1.
At the edge of the universe, when the future is in peril.
Ooh, I like the way you think. That one's fucking loud. I'm not gonna lie. That one's loud.
I've been ordered to do, sir.
To protect
like, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I can't sit here fucking with the VU meter all day.
Has any business being here.
Command an untested crew, and to relive a deadly encounter.
That's why I recommended writing a letter to Simon and Schuster.
Star Trek: Deep Space Nine.
They're the ones who hired someone to mix the audio. But now, jokes aside, I think I know why they did it. Back in the day, I either had a sound card called a New Media Wave Jammer. Why, thank you. I'm heart touched. That is heartfelt right there. Thank you, Curtis YZ Reacts. I feel like I can hear you over the video, so I think it's just right. Okay, cool. It's like, it is a little loud on the bone conduction headphones, but, you know, you got to strike a balance and all of that stuff, you know? And that's all. Yeah, so this is a disc image of a 3-disc set from a CD-ROM. Here, hang on, I'll show you an example. Right over here. So this is what the box art would have looked like in 1998 or 1999. So yeah, basically it's a CD-ROM. Pardon me. I just want to get the YouTube chat to show on all of the screens. There we go. Sorry. Thank you, Lorenzo, for hanging in there. Yeah, so, yeah, this is a CD-ROM. It's a 3-disc set. It's a full motion video interactive experience. Earlier in the stream, I did show a video example, but unfortunately that stream was deleted, so I'll show you real quick here. So basically, you start out as a kid on a cadet. You're a cadet on a Starfleet ship. And it takes up 3 CD-ROMs because that's what it takes to store full motion video. So now you're packing your bags, right?
Packing up. Time to head on out. Time to ship off.
and Super Great Friend. I misread that name earlier. Super Great Friend. I read it as Super Great Find. But yeah, Super Great Friend did a good job streaming this.
How old were you when your father was killed? 9, 10 years old? And you're still not over it? Perhaps I should introduce myself. I imagine you've heard of me, though, Q?
So he does this whole blah, blah, blah spiel. Then he asks you a question.
Yet still barbaric bipedal hominid wouldn't. You can run away with the others like a scared trog, or you can come with me, cadet. The choice is yours.
Right, so the gameplay is...
So basically, if you pick the bag, Q insults you, and then you have to start over. If you pick the phaser, the game proceeds from there. And if you insert disc 2 of the game, that's where you have an installation file for the Borg Omnipedia, also known as the Star Trek Encyclopedia. And this is also why early in the stream you see these colorful bars on the side of the screen. I actually had to, like, Photoshop that just to kind of add a little, continuity to the LCARS interface, the Library Computer Access Retrieval System, as they call it. And what's beautiful about this is it's got the voice of Majel Barrett on it. Majel Barrett, the mother of Star Trek.
Next time on Star
Here you go,
Trek,
Lorenzo. I found the episode.
Picard faces his most difficult mission, the long journey home.
I seem to have made a rather disturbing discovery.
Family reunion
those are
takes
cool.
a twisted turn.
What the devil happened to you up there?
Turning brothers into bitter rivals.
I even enjoy.
A tragic homecoming on Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Yeah, that's a good one. It just sounds cool. You're just a scared trog. But yeah, Lorenzo, I'm glad you brought up HyperCard. It's a little bit off topic, but it's great because, like, I remember a while back we reviewed an episode or two of Computer Chronicles, and, like, I guess in the 80s or early 90s, HyperCard was a thing. In fact, HyperCard was a thing in the movie Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. In the scene when Scotty designs, the formula for, what do you call that shit? Transparent aluminum. He was using HyperCard to do that. Kind of cool. And I believe it may have had some object-oriented programming going on in there. Now all you need is the interactive technical. I do need that. So I didn't know that was interactive. I thought that was a book. Are you telling me there's an interactive technical manual I can obtain? Because I need to frickin' obtain it, buddy. I need that. I totally need that. I need that in my life. It might be on archive.org because I own this game on CD-ROM. I have the box in my closet right now. I literally have the actual box. Like, if I had Super Chats, I would be like, for $5, I'll get off my ass and get the box. But jokes aside, I'm not grabbing the box right now. Maybe I'll make a short. I'll make a short. How about that? Yeah? So I have the box for this. I have the CD-ROMs in a disc wallet. But for anybody who owns the game, but, can't find their discs, you could totally go to the Internet Archive and download all 3 ISO images of this. But it's kind of pointless to download anything but disc 2 unless you have a way to run the apps, right? Like on disc 2, you can access all of those media files like that we're looking at right now without opening up this application. But to really run this application or the game itself, you need to have DOSBox configured correctly. That's one way people seem to be doing it, is they're using DOSBox or they're using virtual machines. And virtual machines can be hit or miss when it comes to gaming, especially with like legacy operating systems. Like setting up Windows XP for gaming in a virtual machine, you can usually get the 3D acceleration to work correctly. If you're doing virtual machines on Linux using KVM kernel virtual machine, you can usually find a way to like pass a video card over. Like there's a way to actually provide a physical graphics card to a virtual machine. So the virtual machine directly talks to a graphics card, and that's a pretty cool, option to have. But, when it comes to these legacy OSs, operating systems, yeah, it's a bit of another story. I used to do Lorenzo says, a little bit of hypertext programming, as well as early hypertext markup language. I believe Steve Jobs' Next Step had built-in hypertext. Next Step was interesting. I mean, it's a precursor to OS X. It's a precursor to Darwin. It had a lot of the same functionality. There's actually videos where Steve Jobs is giving the presentation on, on Next Step. And it literally has like direct parallels between Next Step and the OS 10 presentation in 1999, with maybe a little difference in that there was more emphasis on network stuff, network printing or whatever, because like, in fact, no, they did have some network printing. They had the ability to record sound clips and send them in an email. There was a lot of interesting features that were a bit ahead of their time, I'll admit. I don't care what people think of The Whale or Star Trek. That was a great movie. Who has a problem with the Star Trek 4? That was a great movie. You have two whales named George and Gracie. You cannot go wrong with that. Okay, that's cute right off the bat. I mean, literally everyone at the Alameda Whale Station or whatever, the Cetacean Institute, I'm sorry. Everyone at the Cetacean Institute is like, they're like, oh, their name is George and Gracie. And the crowd is like, oh, you know, because they knew that shit is fucking sweet. There be whales, Captain. I don't know if I'm doing the Scotty right, but yeah, that was a cool scene. And that was the thing. That was like, they have a Klingon bird of prey with like this whole area that like, it looks like a cargo hold. I guess it's a cargo bay. And it just has the right design that you could take glass and drop it right in between the wall panels just right to keep water contained. And it's a little ridiculous, but fun. On the other hand, what was cool about Star Trek 4 was, look, the whales were definitely in a tight space. But the goal was just to get the whales to the future long enough to communicate to the whale probe, right? Because that was the whole point. You had this probe that was disrupting electricity, around 23rd century Earth. It was disrupting every power system, every starship. Everything was in shambles. And so the idea was, okay, we got whale songs coming from this probe, but we don't have any humpback whales in the ocean because at the point that this movie takes place, humpback whales are extinct. So that's where the logic comes in. We're going to go back in time, pick up some humpback whales, and use them in order to, communicate with the probe to say, I don't know what they were expecting. I mean, for all they know, they could have grabbed those humpback whales from the past. And those humpback whales could have said, yeah, those humans are assholes. Burn them. And they might have burned us. But that being said, it worked out. Now, here's a fun fact. I was reading a book called Speaking to Whales on Audible. So I wasn't really reading it. I was listening to it. And actually, there's some major work being done, like using hydrophones, underwater microphones, and AI machine learning tools to basically, decipher what the whales are talking about and figure out what we can send to them, if there's any message that we can, send to the whales. So that's kind of exciting. That's an exciting development because we might yet find out that the whales aren't that dumb, or they might be very dumb, or they might be really smart and just limited by their lack of, conventional limbs, right? So I just thought that was kind of cool. Here, let's watch a clip while I click on Slim Nim's link.
A terrifying threat from the past.
Kill it now.
Sparks a moral
Kill
dilemma.
it now.
We can't leave him here. He won't survive.
And violent memories collide.
It's not a person, damn it, it's a
Hey,
Borg.
I found it, Lorenzo.
Will seek revenge with a daring experiment?
Sending him back to destroy the others, and like some sort of walking bomb.
Or will it lead them into an enemy trap?
And then they're gonna come looking for us, and they will destroy us.
On Star Trek: The Next Generation.
So, we got Hugh, we got the episode preview, and then Slim Nim sent a link just now. Let's take a look real quick. So this is the interactive technical manual he's referring to. I'm gonna bet you $50 that Stone Loki owns a copy of this, because he has every Star Trek game ever. But jokes aside, this is the game that I need to find and or buy at some future point in time. And
field theory, capabilities, and defensive systems. This
Riker's talking. That's cool.
represents the United Federation of Planets' greatest technological.
See, now the audio is too loud, but in fairness, the virtual machine audio is just too... Oh, I guess you can normalize it. Or whatever, anyway.
I'm Commander William T. Riker, and for the past 7 years, I've had the honor of serving as first officer of this vessel.
It's skipping too.
My job is to make sure the ship is 100% ready at all times.
There's definitely some idiosyncrasy that this guy encountered that I'm also encountering.
To carry out her captain's instructions, and that requires me to be intimately familiar with every.
This has nice video for the day.
Over the course of this tour, I'll be sharing some of those details with you.
This is great, Slim. Yeah, so that's the interactive encyclopedia. He dropped the link. Slim dropped the link. I wonder how this guy ran it. Who remembers this amazing interactive software released on Windows 95 in 1994? I certainly do. Using a Windows 95 virtual machine, that explains the audio skipping. I was able to load it and configure it to work on my PC. I am happy spending a good few hours having a browse through what it had to offer and bringing back so many memories. The data for this program can be downloaded free from the Internet Archive at the following address. Oh, there's the answer. Thank you, Slim Nim. That covers everything, buddy. No, that addresses everything. So yeah, I'll get that later. We're not gonna do that tonight, but you got a link to a channel who did cover that. If you guys wish to check out that gentleman's content, they seem to have done a good job presenting it. The only thing I would do different, and I'm not knocking their work, I think they did a good job. The only thing I would do different, you already seen it, right? I would basically make this into a full screen interface, and I would use Photoshop to extend that blue bar so that it looks like it belongs. Because it looks like it's pretty persistent. You see, as you navigate the whole thing, it's always showing the same, little LCARS shape. So it wouldn't really take a whole lot to just permanently make a static image on this screen that would allow this to look good. The other thing I would do differently is I would run the virtual machine in scaled mode. So this guy might not have been aware of it, but when you're running VirtualBox, as an example, right now it's running in a window. And I'm afraid to move the window because I have it lined up with the graphics just right. But essentially, when you press the control key, the right control key, you got two control keys on your keyboard. You have to press the right control key. When you press the right control key on your keyboard. I still have... Hey, what up, some person? I see I have your chat still on the screen there, buddy. It's the right control key does a number of functions in VirtualBox. Control C puts it into scaling mode. So if you lower the resolution, the window would normally be really small, and it would be locked to that size no matter what you did. But when you put it into scaling mode, it'll actually stretch the image. Now, the problem is that if you stretch it horizontally, it'll be too wide, it'll be disproportionate. But I figured out that if you resize the window first, then you press Control C, it'll take on the correct aspect ratio. So that's how we got it. That's why I have it in a window like this. And that's why I'm not moving the window. That's why I'm not resizing the window. That's what's going on here. Or, for the benefit of the stream, that's why I'm not resizing or moving it. But this is about as good as it gets, and I think it's quite satisfactory. So let's see. Oh, I should breathe when I'm talking. Look at that. I just took a breath after talking a lot, and that felt nice. Maybe the aliens found out the whales are pretty dumb and gave up destroying Earth. That's a good one. I used Next Step on a real Next computer. We have an artificial... Does anyone have an artificial Next computer? I'm kidding. I'm just messing around. I used Next Step on a real Next computer. That's kind of cool. Was it a Next Cube? As well as OS X server. And yes, it's OS X server. I was talking to the Apple rep at Best Buy, and he was like, I was calling it OS X, and he told me that, like, I sound stupid when I say that. He didn't call me stupid. He was just explaining to me that all of the elitists in the Apple circles judge people based on that. So that's when I started calling it OS X. On a Mac Power PC, Power PC Macs were kind of interesting. The Power Mac G5 was a sexy computer. I don't know if it was unique per se, but I know when you open that thing up, you had that plexiglass on the side of the computer with the two G5 CPUs in there, G5. It just looked nice. I don't know if it was good, but it looked cool. I have two Mac Tower Pros in my possession, but with Windows XP 64-bit on them, ironically enough. I think one has Mac OS. Yeah, one has Mac OS with Final Cut on it, and the other one has Windows XP 64-bit. Okay, so let's see. When iOS 10... Okay, here we are. When iOS 10 server was close to Next Step, I believe I also used a consumer version of OS 10 beta. Yeah, I might have touched that one a long time ago. Like and subscribe, please. Absolutely. I will like and subscribe anything you do, some person. But also, if you're recommending people like and subscribe to me, that means a lot, and I completely agree. Originally, OS X got rid of the Apple menu, but Apple fans demanded it be added back. And then Apple sued Gary Kildall for having a fucking recycling bin. Assholes. No, I'm kidding, but jokes aside, that really happened. Digital Research Inc., you know, Gary Kildall, his company, they made a thing called GEM, Graphic Environment Manager. And Graphic Environment Manager was kind of cool because it, like, looked like Windows 3.1 before Windows 3.1 came out. And many Atari computers had GEM. And here's the crazy part. Some Atari computers had GEM in ROM. So when you look at the motherboard on certain Atari computers, you would actually see 6 ROM chips on the motherboard in order to store the operating system along with the graphical environment manager. So that crap was pretty cool. Go further and put it on a touch screen. That'd be kind of cool, actually. OS X server, it didn't mean iOS. Oh, I got you. Thank you. Yeah, okay. I was getting confused. I thought you were talking about like something that maybe administers or pushes updates. I got you now. Okay, that makes sense. I have a first-gen MacBook Air I rebuilt. How do you rebuild one of those? If you open one up, doesn't it just like fall apart? Isn't the inside made of paper? I'm making up myths here. None of that's true. But I do remember when the MacBook Air came out. It was lovely. I like that the USB ports would flip down. And I didn't care that you needed an external CD-ROM drive because in exchange for a CD-ROM drive, you get either a smaller computer or a larger battery capacity. So that was kind of cool. Back then, it was hard for me to get used to the idea of not having a removable battery. But that's pretty much standard fare today, and it's working out pretty well. And there are plenty of ways to power a computer using an external, something like a USB power brick on steroids. I have one of those, so I'm in good shape regardless. And what up, Salty Traveling Sea? It's good to see you, man. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. GEM was the basis of the Atari ST's OS. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Did I miss any other relevant chats while we're here? Ooh, that was a really good name. Yeah. And we're just happy to see you whenever you're able to come around, Lorenzo. I really appreciate seeing you tonight, man. I am glad you dropped in. Ooh, this is interesting, actually. I know this is an earlier chat, but I want to review this. And I said hi to Chaos. Well, thank you, Chaos, for reviewing my audio before. Wasn't some sort of nanotechnology also used to make Picard human again? Well, I know they did that to 7-Eleven. I know they did that to 7 of 9. I really said 7-Eleven. Who wants to see the 7-Eleven burger that might have given me food poisoning last week? I think I still have it. I should probably throw it out. Anyway, okay, that's another topic. Forget it. But jokes aside, yes, I think it was a 7-Eleven burger that gave me food poisoning last week, not last night, thank God. But yeah, as I was saying, good question. I honestly don't know. I gotta, maybe when I watch Best of Both Worlds and the subsequent episode Family, maybe there's some answers in there. Or maybe you saw the answers. Maybe that's what you're referencing. But I do know that the EMH did some interesting treatments to no worries, confirmed. But, I know he did some stuff. I also know that at times that the doctor on Voyager, the emergency medical hologram, sometimes drew nanoprobes from 7 of 9 to use on crew for other types of treatments, essentially reprogramming the nanoprobes. And I believe that was the basis of a bioweapon or a biotechnical logical weapon of some kind that they used on or designed for species 8472. I should be able to mod my Amiga A500 to run Workbench as well as Atari ST's TOS. It's designed to be modded. And that's kind of cool. That would be very interesting. Amiga A500s were interesting too. A lot of related, lineage there. A lot of related heritage between those platforms. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. maybe I have just enough shame to not show it on camera this very instant, because then you guys would actually like be like, what the hell, like, you know, that would create too many questions. If I whipped out a burger right now, would that not create too many questions? You guys would be like, why does this guy have a burger from a week ago? What was he storing the burger in? Did the Tupperware have a lid on it? Why did he keep a piece of Tupperware next to his Nintendo Entertainment System, next to his camera, next to his IG-88 action figure for an entire week? These are questions that I'm not prepared to answer, so I'm going to move forward. 7-Eleven works at the Cube's commissary. Yeah, so this is what happened, Salty. This is what happened. I got a burger from 7-Eleven, but I didn't eat it right away. And it was one of those burgers that they keep under the heat lamp, right? So then I take that burger, I put it in the fridge. Then I do a stream with Amber, a very sweet lady. When the deep calls the deep. I got to add her to my stream element spot. And then I went to do a stream with Punk Waddle, and I was starting to feel a little funny, but I felt all right. So before the stream, I swapped down the burger. I get the burger from the fridge, I put it in the microwave, the burger that was already hot when I bought it, and I heat it up again, and I eat it real quick. Now I'm done streaming with Punk Waddle. I go to eat dinner. I eat some shrimp and pasta. I'm feeling really weird, by the way. At this point, I'm feeling weird. But I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's just anxiety. Oh, maybe it's this. Maybe I drank too much caffeine. Who knows, right? So I eat some shrimp, and I'm getting like a knot in my stomach. So then I go to lay down a little while. Then I get back up, and I realize it's time to take care of business. And, you know, take care of business is when the body... Well, anyway, that's what the food poisoning truly proceeded in earnest. Let's just save that. Now let's get back on topic here, kiddos. I don't know. You may or may not be satisfied with the volume levels of upcoming audio clips. If you know, because you returned, I will lower it a bit more because I'm willing to meet you 3/4 of the way. I like good pizza, but I also like pizza they keep under the lights for several hours. Yeah, I know what you mean, right? Sometimes it's pretty good. Don't eat 7-Eleven garbage. I agree with Salty. Don't eat 7-Eleven garbage. Hello, California Ford 44. It's lovely seeing you tonight. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Lucky you, Chaos 4. Head on swivel, Callie. My head was on a swivel, but then my neck got really stiff yesterday. Oh, it feels better today, thank. Oh, yeah. So what I did was I started sitting like this. Because what was happening was my upper right monitor is over here, so bending my head right and looking up, I think, was not helping. So yesterday I got in the habit of sitting to the right and looking left. And yeah, my neck is much less stiff. Oh, yeah. Little... Oh, there we go. Okay. He had to poop. Oh, I had to poop a lot that day. Had to do a lot of things out of both sides, if you know what I mean. All right. Anyway, getting back on topic here. Yes, I got to get ready for work, though. Well, I hope you have a wonderful night at work. I hope that the, natives are not restless. I hope that you get to be active enough to have fun, but not so active that you don't get to, chill out. You know what I mean? So that's good, though. It's good to work. The hot dog rollers are somehow more better. Right. James, bear with me, buddy. Gonna do you a solid. And this is a solid because I should be, by all rights, be lazy and not do this. But we just brought it to negative 14.6 dB. I don't know what that translates into, but we're going to just roll with it and see if it's too loud or not. Ooh, that's an interesting avatar. Is that Captain Picard? Or is that... Who is that? I recognize these people. That looks vaguely like Star Trek Discovery, but I'm kind of hoping it's not. But jokes aside, it's good to see you, So Cruise 119. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Thanks for dropping in tonight. I stand by my original assertion. Don't eat anything from under a heat lamp at 7-Eleven. Dude, worst case load up your freezer with Hot Pockets. Yeah, true. Valid point. I mean, I could have bought a pre-frozen burger at 7-Eleven instead. That's what I should have done. Yeah. The devil is right. Ah, Starfield. All right, that makes sense. I didn't get into that game yet. I don't know if I will. I played some Chorus recently. I know this is a bit of a sidebar here, but let's just say I tried to upload the game Chorus, and it was not really working out for me. Because, okay, here's the problem. So I wanted to upload a video at 120 frames a second. What I figured out today was that you need to be I need to have a larger channel before I can, before I can upload a video at 120 frames a second. So, in other words, it was like a waste of time. I should have just encoded at 60. So I had to re-encode. I'm trying to figure out how to do something called frame blending, because that's apparently a way to get the best of both worlds. And so, yeah. Your computer monitor, your computer screen might not play this. But, it's just pretty nice looking graphics there,
I killed a planet.
She killed a planet. And I'm inside some dark installation right now. And then I get in this combat situation. Very, very difficult. I'm still going to be working on this tonight. I haven't beaten this part of the fight yet. So we're going to do that. I'm going to do that later. But yeah, that game is cool. All right. Back on topic here. Oh, crap. My bad. There we go. I used to be able to get my local college's cafeteria to make me fresh pizza. I believe it was run by the Aramark cafeteria chain. Interesting. Gotta earn yo keep cool. Gotta earn yo keep, Califord. Okay, I'm sorry, I misread that. Not really, because what am I gonna do? Listen to myself talk? That would just be kind of like distracting. But I did go on my phone earlier. I listened. I thought it was satisfactory. So it's currently 5 dBs lower than what I heard on my phone that I deemed satisfactory. So I figure that's like meeting you at least halfway. Yeah, no, that's what I did. I used my phone. In my youth, I mastered the art of getting good deals on pizza. Yeah, unless I'm re-encoding every file, what I did was I just lowered the output on OBS. That's the best I can do here. That's the easiest thing. That's as much effort as I'm willing to do in real time. So let's just roll with it and see if the audio is right. So we already did iBorg. Let's just sit next and see what comes up next. Locutus of Borg. That's lower. Yeah, it's on the low end of the yellow VU meter now. It's not too loud anymore. It's literally on the green and yellow line.
Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile.
Vive la resistance!
Your life, as it has been, is over.
Over.
From this time forward, you will service us.
Oh, you hear that? You will service us. That's means you're going to become a tech support person, I guess. You're going to provide service and support. You're going to perform their oil changes. You're going to provide software updates. So he's just giving it's a jobs program. Clearly, the Borg is simply a jobs program. Everyone's getting way too bent out of shape about this assimilation thing. It's just a little hype. So now we're going to do this one here. We got Data dressed up in upholstery, apparently. I don't know what that is. And then he's wearing that must be Lore. Oh yeah, that's Lore. Lore leading the Borg.
I wonder which of them was made first.
He was. But they found him to be imperfect, and I was made to replace him.
Yeah, it's possible it's double the volume because it's stimulates stereo. I think they just upmixed it because look, like on old computers, I remember when I had a Sound Blaster 16 with unpowered speakers, it would utilize 4 watts per channel. So if you look at the sound card, there would be 2 op amps, those little chips that have 3 legs on them, and each op amp was rated at 4 watts. So that's a total cumulative 8 watts, but 4 watts per channel. And so the speakers that were pretty common at the time in some cases were literally speakers that had nothing but a 3.5 millimeter phono plug. And all of the energy that would power those speakers would come straight from the audio jack. So it stands to be reasoned that in the absence of a powered amplifier. Because, you know, powered PC speakers, you plug into a wall socket, they draw electricity from a transformer, or, you know, they power from the wall socket into a transformer, and that electricity is what amplifies those speakers so that you could turn a physical volume knob in order to make it real loud. In the absence of that type of amplifier, the problem is that you can put your computer volume on max volume and it still not be loud enough. So I think the intent behind making the audio tracks too loud was to kind of deal with that, to make it, you know, likely that more people with more computers could hear the sound without any issue. And then, of course, at that point, if you're sitting in front of your own computer, you could lower the volume in real time. You know, back then, people were not watching 5 videos at once. So it would have been a trivial, you know, thing to do. And so I think it was probably for the greater good to, you know, make the audio very loud, to goose up the gain by an extreme margin. I think it makes a lot of sense. Do any of you have advice on debilitating Windows 11? Not offhand, but, you know, you go through the usual things, right? Just go disable crap, remove Windows components. You can literally go to add remove programs and pick the part that says remove Windows or add and remove Windows components and strip it down from there. Beyond that, it gets a little more intricate, right? But, you know, a lot of it is just all that lame stuff, like manually disabling widgets, disabling the weather widget, going through the start menu and removing the widget thingy-majigs, you know, so you could do it that way. Anything that sets out to automate that becomes obsolete when a major update comes out, so that's sort of like the challenge there. At the end of the day, it's probably not all bad, but I find certain aspects of Windows 11 inconvenient. Oh, we got a rebel here. I find certain things inconvenient about Windows 11, like when I'm dragging a window and at the top you get that little bar that's like, oh, would you like to split it into 2, 3, or 4? And I'm just like, dude, if I wanted that, I would have asked. But it's really not that bad. What I want to do is, I got a mini PC I bought for like, as a video relay box, and I haven't needed it in a while, so I stopped using it, but it has a working Windows 11 install on it. So usually whenever I provide tech support, I'll power up that computer and use that as my reference, because when you don't have the same system as someone else, it's hard to walk them through things. And it's like, there's nothing I hate more than being on the phone with someone and not knowing what they're clicking on and not knowing if they even know what they're clicking on. Whereas if I have the same thing in front of me, I can usually follow along and make sure they're following me. Yo! I do not like Win 11, but that's old news. Hello, Punk Waddle. Good to see you, buddy. But, you know, and like I was saying, I think like what Lorenzo's proposing, Punk Waddle can actually pull that off, right? Strip it down, do customizations to put the taskbar in the, you know, arrangement that you prefer, and just strip it down. I mean, I'm assuming you sent a message on X, but I don't know. I just thought you were sending a message on X, Punk Waddle. I like print screen command in Windows 11. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I think even Windows 10, when you press print screen, oh no, it still does it the old way. Oh yeah, at work, you're right. When I'm at work, it does it differently. When I'm at home, it does it like that. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's kind of cool, actually, yeah. I don't mind just opening up the snipping tool. That's what I do in Windows 10. I just go to start menu and open up the snipping tool. Do you ever share the screen as tech support and find porn wallpaper? I've never shared my screen and found porn wallpaper. I'm kidding. I've never had someone share their screen and give me porn wallpaper, but I've seen a lot of things when I worked in tech support that I cannot disclose. Yes, there's 2 streams. I deleted one of them, and this is the new one. And I think, did I repost the Twitter link? Crap, I didn't. But yeah, that's what happened. Because I had the video running at 120 frames a second when I started, and I had to like cancel it and start over. I like the Windows 11 UI. I had everything. I had a checklist. I did everything except for the frame rate. This is why I have a second copy of OBS that I usually use for the exotic stuff, so that I don't disrupt all my settings. That's been in Windows DOS in a long time. It's actually a keyboard key for that. Well, yeah, print screen just does a straight screenshot of the entire screen. The challenge with that is when I press print screen with all of the monitors that I have, it literally does all of my screens like as one big ass bitmap or one clipboard, and then you have to crop it or reposition it as needed. So not a big deal, but that's just the reality of it. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I'm not crazy about it, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be less of a purist in the next year or two. Like right now, I feel like I just want to like not run anything after Windows 10 and like just switch to Linux and run Windows in a virtual machine and, you know, use the kernel virtual machine on Linux and kind of just tweak things from there. Maybe take advantage of some of the new stuff like Proton. But at the same time, like it's kind of nice. It's a lazy experience running Windows. You know, it's like assuming you're not being spied on, and assuming you don't have to bend over backwards to make sure you're not sending all kinds of telemetry, which you often might have to do. It's very straightforward. Shit just works. But once in a while, Microsoft does things that kind of says F you to the users, and that does motivate periodic exoduses. And that's why there are these exoduses where there's an exodus from Windows and it will continue, but it may not happen in earnest. It may just be different dribs and drabs. It may happen in waves. But for all intents and purposes, like when people complained about Windows Vista, it was like, okay, yeah, it's a bit different, but it's like the start menu is in the same place. If anything, the Windows Vista start menu was a little bit better because it had a search feature. And granted, there were some issues with Windows Vista, but once you got Windows 7 on the market, all of the things that were wrong with Windows Vista, which were mainly related to inefficiency, you know, inefficient resource utilization and a few other bugs, it was much easier to get on with things. It was much easier to like, you know, basically like move from XP to Windows 7. It wasn't that big of an issue, you know, and it's true. XP Pro over Vista, absolutely. Given a choice between those two, that would be the answer, and it's correct. And alternatively, XP Pro, 64-bit even, although that was a mixed bag. It's not for everyone, but there are instances where if you needed to run applications that, you know, needed more than 4 gigs of RAM in one shot, then XP 64-bit was there for you. And I did run that for a while, but ultimately I found that games ran better on XP than they did on Vista. And then once Windows 7 came out, it's like at that point you can customize it. You can make like if you look at my taskbars, you'll notice that my taskbar is not big. And this is like an attempt at replicating the user experience of Windows XP to some extent. So if you look down here, it'll say use small icons. So if I click this, okay, now it's resetting all my taskbars. There we go. So now we got this big square Windows button. And also, you'll notice something else. I have rectangles on the bottom. So normally people would have this. And apparently it's not obeying me right now. That's funny. Oh, it's only on my top monitor. That's interesting. So if we go to my top monitor, you'll see I have these little icons. But and you can see that Firefox is opened on my top monitor. I should probably eliminate some of these shortcuts. I don't need that many shortcuts. Control panel is open, but some people can't tell the difference between an app that's open and the one that's not open. So they sometimes let things pile up excessively without knowing. But when you do this one, combined taskbar buttons are only when full. Now I get the rectangular buttons, which I kind of prefer, even though with the amount of shortcuts I have, it's hard to see what's what. And this is a weird inconsistency. Oh, here we go. When you have multiple displays, you have to scroll down a little bit. So if we scroll down, you'll see, there we go. So this is like the default behavior of Windows 7 through Windows 11, or Windows 7 through 10 at least. And this works for some people. If you have a lot of apps open and only one monitor, it might be easy to consolidate everything into these little collapsible buttons. But in my case, I like this. I like seeing the name of whatever I have running. And at the same time, I also don't mind having a smaller button, which is why, once again, we do that. And now we get a taskbar that is at least slightly superficially resemblant of Windows XP, Windows 95, etc. You know, this is like my preferred, especially on a laptop when screen real estate is at a premium. Oh, yeah. There was a Windows Media Center edition, Windows Media Center edition 2005, that had a Windows theme called Royale. It's one of the like 4 officially signed themes that you could install on Windows XP. So even on XP Home, you could download the Royale, that's the name of it, Royale theme from Softpedia or one of those websites, and then install it with great ease, and suddenly you have the taskbar that's a bit sexier than it otherwise would be. I didn't use 64-bit XP because most programs were not compatible. Absolutely true. That is a valid reason not to use XP64, and that was an obstacle. Yeah. I do have a Raspberry Pi 5 as well as Raspberry Pi OS Debian-based Linux distro. I look forward to getting that set up. Oh yeah, no, those are pretty flexible, especially a Raspberry Pi 5. Yeah. Like, one thing I hate about Raspberry Pi is like they're more scarce, they're more expensive, they're no longer like the cheap thing they used to be, but they're still pretty robust for what they are. I mean, for the form factor, like you want to make a good thin client. That's a good thin client right there. Definitely. What do you all use for security on old Windows versions to make up for any security flaws? Well, Windows 10 is not at end of support yet, so it's not an issue. For anyone else, I don't know if anyone else is running an old Windows version. As for me, I'm running in a virtual machine. I avoid going online. So in the Windows XP virtual machine here for reference, like...
Deactivation complete. Omnipedia database now disconnected from this terminal.
You'll see here that I didn't even configure networking. I didn't configure internet. The Windows 98 VM, I have to be a bit more careful with because I did have some networking enabled on there, but I usually don't use it. That one definitely requires a little care, but it's really just a matter of like not willy-nilly using any old junk from the internet, and snapshots. Snapshots are essential. So in VirtualBox, we can take a snapshot right here. And this is just showing like working Omnipedia, let's just say for reference. So that kind of gives me a point where if I really screw things up really bad in the virtual machine, I could restore it to that snapshot right over there. And we're going to wrap this up in the next few minutes. Just going to do a quick rundown here while we're already here, guys and girls.
Now establishing
You're not wrong,
data
but there are
Memory
tiny
Alpha.
changes
Welcome
that,
to the
for me,
Federation Omnipedia
affect some
database.
simple regularities I'm
Accessing.
accustomed to, or he said I'm
Ready.
used to, that affect the flow per se. Per se, which is, I believe, also French. I'm just guessing. I'm making that up. I want to get started in Linux. Mint is awesome. Mint is fantastic. It's very straightforward. Linux Mint is a Debian distro. So it means that the package manager, whether you're using the front end or the back end, the way that you install apps is a pretty no-nonsense ordeal. It's not an ordeal at all, for that matter. All in all, in my opinion at least, I like Mint a lot. Granted, I'm a huge nerd, but, there are people smarter than me who use Mint. There's people who are equally as smart as me who use Mint. But in general, Mint is popular for good reason. And it's like the instructions that you read on how to set crap up on Ubuntu apply to Mint. So that's pretty handy too. Hypnospace OS. Oh yeah. You know what we want to do? I want to review Temple OS one of these days. And Haiku as well. Haiku would be a good time. Some dude set up his Raspberry Pi to feed his dog. Yeah, dude. People do that. They make dog feeders. See, the thing is that you don't need a Raspberry Pi for that. Like, you could do that with an Arduino microcontroller. You could do that with an ESP32. And luckily, with Raspberry Pis becoming expensive at times, more and more people are doing stuff like that using lower cost alternatives. So I'm glad that's the case. Hey, Slim. Yeah, you don't put things on the internet because it doesn't work on the internet. Yeah, so at one point I was watching a DEF CON conference, and this guy was talking about things you don't put on the internet. And he mentioned some guy hooked his barbecue spit, the rotating thing that you put the meat on over the barbecue. Someone hooked that shit up to the internet. It was like, you don't do that. Like, you're just going to hack, someone's going to log into it, stop the spit from rotating, probably overcook your meat or some crap, I was forced to update Windows 11 to Windows 11. I have to redo settings with almost every update. That's insane. Yeah, see, usually just regular updates aren't a big deal, but the full OS upgrade, yeah, that would be highly disruptive, especially when it happens out of the blue. I run Mint on a virtual machine, and I really enjoyed both Mate and Cinnamon desktops. Yeah, I like Mate, and Cinnamon was fine. I'm using XFCE right now. See? Low spec Linux gaming knows. Yeah, I'm using XFCE on Linux Mint right now myself, and the best one was, I remember when I set up, it was Crunchbang Linux, also known as Bunsen Labs Linux, now defunct. And on Crunchbang Linux, they had an XFCE config that was just, I liked it a lot. It was very Spartan, but it had a couple of cool things about it. And a couple of times I've replicated that on subsequent installations on different distros. But at this point, I'm not going to tear my hair out trying to replicate that precisely. But I did like the approach they did to that particular variant of XFCE. That said, just about any XFCE is welcome to me. I'm happy to use it, Raspberry Pi and these other hobbyist computers are making computing fun again. Ah, yes, as the motto goes with that, making computing fun. MCFA. I can't pronounce that. Make computing fun again. All right, let's do a quick one here. If there's any last articles, did someone mention a cooking manual or something like that? Let me know if anybody wants to see a particular article. Get one or two in there before we wrap it up. In the meantime, I'm just going to skim through the video list, and I'm going to watch a video we haven't watched yet. Uh-oh. I clicked too many things. Ooh, parallels. This is going to be fun.
Is Worf losing his grip on reality?
Oh, crap. We saw this one. You don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm making fun of Marina Sirtis. I can't help it.
On the next episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Commander, look at this.
The crew discovers frozen survivors from the 20th century.
What's going to happen to us?
In the middle of a perilous
Who
mission
remembers this
to
one?
confront arch enemies.
You think that we
Would do
attacked
that.
your outposts?
Could this feared encounter spark an explosive battle?
That's true, too. There are a lot. I believe...
The battle stations.
Find out on Star Trek, The Next Generation.
I believe LCX has a a sponsorship or something, possibly a retail code or whatever. You go to, there's a video, an unboxing of one of those handheld consoles, and I don't know if there's still like a referral code. Yeah, I believe she has a referral code for one of those types of handhelds, or a bunch of them, or one particular company's worth. What up, Zombie Box Reviews? Thanks for dropping by. We were just reviewing the Borg Omnipedia, also known as the Picard dossier. I don't really know, but yeah, French. And we're going to take a look at an article on Klingon blood wine and the Grand Nagus. I have a feeling that we're not going to find blood wine, but if we do, we're going to read about it. So we're going to start with the encyclopedia.
Accessing.
And we're going to go in alphabetical order. So what was that? Klingon blood wine. So it's either going to be K or B. So we're going to start with the letter B. It looks like they have a limited number of entries for the letter B. LMNOPQR. LMNOHIJK. Okay. So we're going to go to letter K. K. Kyushu. I don't even think they have anything for letter K. It's like they don't even have Klingons in here. That's funny. I mean, this is more Borg-centric than anything else. All right. So no blood wine. Maybe we got W for wine. Nope. All right. What's next? Slimnim mentioned something here. He mentioned the Grand Nagus. Yeah, we're not going to find the Grand Nagus. This predates the Grand Nagus. Even though DS9 is referenced here, I'm pretty confident we're not going to find him. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Oh, Synthale. Let's see if they got Synthale. Or Synthahol, whatever it's called. Not by all appearances, they don't. But they do have Ensign Tight. Oh, is that the kid who was, yeah, he was the one who was half Romulan, I think? No, a different guy. Starbase 718. Starbase 324. Commander Tabak. Tarod 9. Lalo, USS Lalo Combat Evolved. Okay, we're gonna just do video entries real quick. Oh, second. Yep, that's the Starfleet fighter planes. Good job. They didn't even like get anywhere. They sent like 3 fighter planes and they just get blown up and it's like, all right, unceremoniously moving along.
Armed with a revolutionary
Yo,
warship.
the Defiant was dope.
Ship with a cloaking device?
Engage on a voyage to the farthest edge of the galaxy.
Our mission is to take the Defiant into the Gamma Quadrant and try to find the leaders of the Dominion.
The crew must stand united.
No one is expendable.
To battle the greatest threat to Federation peace.
Prepare your battleship!
On the next exciting episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Tarul,
complete.
Tarul was the Romulan observer, I believe, who was on the bridge of the Defiant. She was responsible for making sure that nobody tried to steal the cloaking device. She would basically control the cloaking device, advise on it, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, I think we basically covered all our bases here. There's not a whole lot of videos here, but, you know, I think we saw this one. Oh, yeah, we saw this one. So, any other articles before I wrap it up? LCARS is Sigma OS. Oh, I'll have to look into that. Thanks, Dude McMahon. I hope you're having a wonderful evening today. Nah, yeah, they don't have blood wine or synth ale, unfortunately, as we discussed. It could be under drinks or alcohol. There's not that many categories, bro. Let's take a look. Like we're here. This is letter D right over here. Okay, let's go back to encyclopedia, right? We gotta go back to the root. And maybe we could even do this. Let's see here.
Working.
Ooh, LCARS. Let's look up LCARS. Because, you know, LCARS are on The View, right? Whoopi Goldberg telling lies on TV. No, jokes aside, though, she is on The View.
Selected word not found in full database search.
Humanoid civilization made extinct in the late 23rd century when their homeworld was destroyed by the Borg. Star Trek Generations, LCARS were reputed to be good listeners. Martus Mazur was an LCARS, and he used this ability to cheat money from people. Rivals, DS9. See Guinan, Lakul, Soren, and Tolian. Soren, of course, was Malcolm McDowell from A Clockwork Orange. And Whoopi Goldberg was known for wearing these big-ass hats. And having a big-ass gun. Yo, that was kind of badass when she pulled her fucking rifle out from under the bar. That was gangsta. I'm like, what is she doing with a big-ass gun? She gets, like, special privileges on that ship, yo. And I'm okay with it. There was one episode when Q and her were having a face-off, and she does some weird voodoo thing with her hand. She's all like, get away from me! And, like, Q is like, you better watch this lady. She's not what she appears. So you guys get the idea here. Oh, good. We got a picture of Sisko, Benjamin Sisko. Now, at one point in the show, he gets a goatee. But the way he gets the goatee is, I think they took his hair and pushed it down until it came out through his chin. Because one day, he has no hair on his head, but he's got a goatee. So that's my theory on how they did that. They transferred the hair from his head to his face. That's probably, you know, something that Dr. Bashir managed to do, if I had to guess. So you guys get the idea. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, let me know. O'Brien was subjected to some form of torture or misfortune. Yo, that was wild, yo. He nearly phasered himself, man, because he gets like a 20-year prison sentence inside a virtual reality prison. It takes like all of 15 minutes for him to go through the prison sentence. But it felt like 20 years for the poor bastard. And what's worse is I think he murdered his cellmate He felt really bad about it, and that was part of why he nearly like shot himself, basically. But it worked out for that, better in the end. I wonder how much memory this whole thing takes up. About, I believe, about 48 or 95 megabytes. Because the Borg CD-ROM, yes, it occupies free
Online
CD.
assistance activated. Select Exit Help.
Oh, there's
button
keyboard
to
shortcuts
return
here.
to
Okay.
Omnipedia database.
I may do a video about this after I learn all of the keyboard shortcuts, because I would love to just speed through this if I could. Or as someone else suggested, it might have been some person. Someone suggested using a touch screen for this. That would be kind of cool.
Deactivation complete. Omnipedia database now disconnected from this terminal.
I'll answer your question right now. So, that's 8 megabytes basically, right? Barely 8 megs. That's for the installation. Wait, why are there 2 folders on here? Did I copy this one manually? Oh, wait. I'm absolutely confused. I might have copied this to the hard drive for some reason. Okay. Well, that being besides the point, if we go to the CD-ROM drive, the entire disk is 574 megabytes. Of that 574 megabytes, I believe the media folder contains 80 megabytes of stuff. So that's the answer. The media portion of the Borg Omnipedia, of that encyclopedia, occupies just shy of 80 megabytes of storage capacity. The remainder of that disk, that's the 10 megabytes of installation files. And I believe the balance of the storage capacity is either empty or hidden through some weird voodoo magic. Yeah. Wait, wrong disk. Yeah, there we go. It's probably just read only. That tends to be the case with optical media. But I do feel like there's something missing here. Yeah, well, anyway, I hope that adequately answers that question. I do feel like something's missing from there, but anyway. I remember watching those commercials when DS9 was still putting out new episodes. Those were good old days, right? I know, that's why I played them back too. It's just like, I like the voice, well, not the voice, but it does have certain nostalgia to it. Just waddling around these YouTubes watching, bringing punk lore. Oh yeah, he's bringing punk lore. It's important. You guys should watch the punk lore videos. Which is just rambling observations. Observe away. DS9 in 3 words. O'Brien must suffer. Yep, that's DS9 in 3 words. Rest in peace, Whoopi. So I had to make a whoopee cushion sound. Hey, what was the TNG episode where there was a beam? I think it was killing all organic life on the Enterprise. Was it the the Baryon sweep. I don't know if that's in the that's not in the encyclopedia. I'm pretty sure we would have saw it, but that is I believe you're talking about the Baryon sweep, because when the ship is spending time in in warp, it apparently gets these particles called baryons. So they use a baryon sweeper. And apparently somebody made a servicing tool for the PlayStation Portable that does this. Not related. This is what I was looking for. Did I misspell the word? No, I didn't misspell the word. Just that for some reason this device is more popular than the actual thing from Star Trek. And I believe that was the episode when Tuvok threatened Picard with a plasma torch. Like, he was like, literally like, so we're just, doing some maintenance. And like, Picard's like, this is awkward. But yeah, this was a way of sweeping particles off the ship. And they start on the back, but basically, if you're on the ship, you got to work your way forward, because if you get hit by the sweeper, you die. And there's a couple good scenes when people do die as a result of that. Not a lot of pictures here. Here we are. It's like another picture of it. You get the idea. There it is. See, they got some animated GIFs. You got the conduit, the conduit, whatever you call it, the Jeffries tube. You got the last seconds in 10 forward when Picard is like literally leaning on the window and like calling the base to tell him to stop. And he gets lucky just in the nick of time. So yeah, that's the Baryon sweep if that's the correct one. I didn't give the name of the episode, but at least now you know what to look for. I'm not always afraid of no ghost. But when I'm not, it's usually because it's a Force ghost. Yeah, like I love when Sir Alec Guinness visits me from beyond the grave. Whoopi is 69, yo. I know you meant years old, but it's way funny to say 69, yo. 69 with Whoopi, yo. Okay, anyway, I digress. You get my drift. That hand gesture against W was used by Whoopi. Against Q was used by... Oh, shit, he knows the episode. That hand gesture that I was talking about, the voodoo hand gesture that Whoopi used in order to repel Q or whatever she was doing, they never expanded on it. They never really expanded on the lore here. But yes, that was in an episode called The Color Purple. Huh, interesting. The more you know. It's like Picard went... It's like what Picard went through in Inner Light. Yes, and was only unconscious for a few minutes. Absolutely, good point. Yeah, luckily not as traumatic, but that was a beautiful episode. Ghost Waddle. Ooh, I think that's an idea we could work on. Touchscreen is the only way to play that. I mean, I don't know, the keyboard shortcuts seem like an option. But yeah, I dig where you're coming from. Buster Waddle. Ooh, just like Buster Gundam or something like that. Seems a little too backwards. Old computer apps are often very efficient. Now everything is so bloated. Just like my stomach last week. Boy, never again. I wish 7-Eleven sold onigiri like they do in the East. Like, I would love to buy me like a rice ball, a Japanese rice ball wrapped with seaweed and some stuff at 7-Eleven. That would be freaking cool. You're telling me so much crap and trying to artificially say it needs to be on the startup menu. Yeah, right? So much crap and trying to artificially say it needs to be on the startup. Yeah, it's like, it's like, I get it. You're trying to shove Copilot and this and that in my face. And I guess you want the ad revenue. You want the telemetry for the weather data. You want to know where I live and how much I care about knowing the fucking weather. But yeah, it's like, just because Microsoft wants, and the things that, if it was free, that would be cool. But Microsoft still charges money for Windows 10. Like, what I had to go through to get a copy of Windows 10 without spending $200 and ensuring that it stays activated. I can't disclose, but I wasn't gonna give them fucking $200 so that they could continue to data mine me in exchange for money that I don't get back. They're not giving me a rebate for that. Yeah, right. Isn't that freaking neat how I can just type an ! Punk and that comes up? Yeah, I gotta add more people. I gotta add Amber. I gotta add a lot of people to that. Ronnie and everybody else are welcome to join me in Hypnospace within the hour. You heard that. See, that's another one. I can type in Slim and that comes up. That sounds familiar. I think that was it. There was also a crystalline entity. Oh, we could have looked that one up. I don't think it was in there, to be honest, but I feel like I would have noticed the crystalline entity in the encyclopedia. Okay, hear me out. Splinter Cell is a vital game for modding an Xbox. Oh, wait, that's me. Hear me out. A Splinter Cell-like game where you play as Ilham Garrick. I don't know how to pronounce his name. A Splinter Cell-like game where you play as Ilham Garrick in the Obsidian Order. In his Obsidian Order days. That would be pretty dope. That would be pretty damn dope. Probably be too violent to play on anything. It'd be like rated mature times 10. The Color Purple was the Spielberg movie she and Oprah were in. Okay, so not a Star Trek episode. Whoopi used to be really chill, but now she's on The View. Yeah, I know what you mean. I wouldn't trust Japanese food in an American 7-Eleven. You're telling me. Lesson learned. Yeah, that's Slim's link. No animals were harmed in the making of that game. The rice balls I'm familiar with are made with sticky rice. Yes, that's correct. You got the Japanese rice balls and you got the Italian rice balls, right? You got rice ball parmesan. You got rice balls with prosciutto inside of it, prosciutto. You got a lot of options there. But, of course, an Italian rice ball is not an Asian rice ball. That is Elam. Thank you, Elam. 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 Hello, Elam. Elam Musk. You could mod a game for a Garrett game. Ooh, someone has to say challenge accepted. It's not going to be me. That's a lot of work. The view of the 10 forward. Good one. Like the Lao rice balls. I guess so, yeah. Is that what they're called? Interesting. Maybe I'll try one. I want to order something online from the other side of the country that maybe has a name. Like, like maybe get something like freeze-dried food. I know you can actually do this. You could go on DoorDash, enter a different city, order food from like a completely other place. And apparently like someone picks it up, they bring it somewhere, they pack it with dry ice, and they ship it to you. So if like you're a New Yorker and you really want to pay $100 to get a pizza shipped to California, you could do that. It's like pretty insane and overpriced, but I would love to try something insane like that one of these days. Can't be me either. I don't have a single autistic bone in my body. I dig that. Oh, yeah, so I was typing in Lao rice ball. I just want to know if that has something to do with the country of Laos. Well, yeah, they look just like Italian rice balls, but they're definitely not. Interesting. Well, anyway, with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. I think we're going to wrap it up. I went a little bit longer than expected. We were aiming for about 1 hour, but I'm happy to be of entertainment to you guys tonight. If anybody's watching on the replay and you have any questions, comments, ideas, or concerns, please leave a comment. And yeah, if there's any final thoughts, speak now or hold your peace until next week. In the meantime, let's shut down Windows the good old-fashioned way, right? We're going to pretend to be in the 1990s again. So we're going to go into full screen mode. Wait, can we do full screen mode? Oh my god, that's full screen mode. See, this is what I was talking about before. That's why I use scaling mode, because putting it in full screen is just isn't really that fun. Uh-oh, where is it? Now, I don't have any sound effects in this Windows 95 virtual machine. I had to reinstall it 3 times until I got things to work the way I wanted, so we don't get to hear any of the cool sound effects on shutdown. I'm sorry. That was a quick shutdown. I was kind of hoping it would give me that thing where it says it is now safe to turn off your computer. I always wonder, like, well, what if it wasn't safe to turn off my computer? Would I get electrocuted? Would I get stabbed? What happens if you turn off your computer when it's not safe to turn off your computer? And Lady Mist is providing yum 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 crickets for the turtles. Thank you. And good night, Lady Mist. Thanks for tuning in. Lao is Laotian? Laotian? Probably. Okay, so my mom works for a very reputable car rental place in the U.S., in the United States, and administration. I can never get sticky rice at a Thai restaurant. I'm not sure why. Because Lao friends got their rice from Thailand. Interesting. That is a valid question. Also, almost every bar and pastry and ice cream shop had rice cakes in Sicily. And, Italian pastries are fire, I love me a good cannoli from Renato's. Renato's pastry shop is good shit, Had one branch go through a whole bunch of crud where the cars weren't getting registered properly. Oof, that sounds brutal. No doubt. Thank you, SoCruise119. I hope you have a wonderful night. And farewell, Mr. Linux Penguin. It's always good to see you. Good luck on the Penguin Dome. That looks like cool work right there. So as a treat, we sent them barbecue to Alaska. Ooh. Before the freeze-dried meat even made it out of the thing, everybody in the office was gathered around the cooler because of the smell. Oh my god, it actually made that lovely barbecue smell. Sniff the 90s. I know what you mean. I know, dude McMahon, I get it. I mean, the nostalgia is real. I was on a VM. We are no longer on a VM. Well, we have the app open. You can see that's my Windows 98 VM. That's my Windows 95 VM. This one here has been set up for like a while now. This is what I use primarily for backing up N64 memory cards, because that's the only VM that the software and the hardware which I possess for that purpose actually works on. So that's what I use it for. Thank you, Stephanie Cruz. You have a wonderful week. And Stephanie says, have a great rest of the week, everyone. Why, thank you. I hope you have a great rest of the week as well. And wow, I got a lot to say here. I don't know if I missed a bunch of chat. It just suddenly, I caught up with a lot of it. I must have been scrolling up too much. If you shut it down, it would tear the fabric of space-time. Yep, Lao is Laotian. How are you streaming if you shut off your Windows 95? Well, the truth is I'm running this out of the BIOS right now. And to expose it a little bit more, I'm getting help from my friend Petey. He's actually running the show right now off of his microprocessor controlled brain. He's like a walking quantum computer. That's why he's got the light. The blue lights are actually liquid nitrogen being pumped into his quantum computer. It's a fact. Yep. DJ is a PC within a PC within a PC. It's true. It's like a ship in a bottle. Yay! And we have finally reached the bottom of the chat. And with that being said, farewell, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for your 10 cents, 20 cents, and 50 cents. And yeah, I know he does some creepy shit right there. And is that a 6502 or a Z80 in that toaster? I don't know, but if you want a Hot Pocket, he can definitely be obliged to help you heat one up there, low-spec Linux gaming. I don't know, is he a 6502? What does he look like to you? Does he look like a 6502 or a Z80 to you? Does he look like he's using a Texas Instruments text-to-speech chip? I wonder. It's a good question. These are questions that I need to address. And I appreciate you providing ideas there, low-spec Linux gaming. You need one of those robot voices used in Doctor Who. I've never watched Doctor Who. No, I've tried to watch Doctor Who. I had a hard time. I must have watched the wrong Doctor Who, to be honest, man. I'll give it another chance. Ciao. Ciao to you, and God bless you all. Knight Rider, me a robot. That's exactly the inspiration for the lights on the bottom. Good catch there, awesome one. Why, thank you, Lorenzo. It was great seeing you. It looks like a robot wearing a fur coat, a barbarian robot, Genghis Khan, right? An aluminum processor. Yeah, so that's because the I roughed up the epoxy. That's carbon fiber. That's carbon fiber right there. And I was inspired by the Ocean Gate Titan submarine to make a carbon fiber chest piece for my robot. But I have to do a little more sanding to it. I have to do a clear coat. And I have to decide whether I want to put the clear coat on and then paint it, or if I want to paint it and then apply a clear coat. But I think I'll probably do one clear coat before I paint it. And then the paint job is going to be more like a trim. It's going to be like, you know, detailing. It's not going to be painted all silver, because I do want to reveal that carbon fiber weave detail. That's kind of half the fun. But we definitely want to refine this a bit. And then I'm going to use contact cement to line the inside with EVA foam. But right now the inside is lined with white duct tape. Oh, this is the Often Wrong Sung model. Yep, Often Wrong Sung. He was wrong to build it, and the villagers all confirmed it. Conan the Binarian. Oh my god, that's a good one. I like that one. Robots are so much more friendly looking than humans. No offense, humans. Does PD look friendly? Some people get scared by him. Some people think he's friendly. I think he's very friendly and sweet, but he gets mixed reviews. Now, Bob is a cool cat. And Irate Specialist is also a cool cat. But Bob, he's alright. Ocean Gate. Ocean Gate. Okay, I want to tune into my boy Auris. Speaking of Auris, so we got two people streaming right now. I'm going to guess that Auris218 is streaming. So here's the deal here, guys. We're going to put on two people right now. You can raid any person you want. You can raid Slim if you want. That's Slim's name. His name is Slimnim. You can also raid Auris218 plays Final Fantasy VII. That's Final Fantasy VII. And finally, we will really end the stream. So yeah, with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. His programming is crude but effective. And Low Spec Linux Gaming is also... Do I have LSLL? I don't think I do. I'm going to try typing it. Yeah, I don't think I have you in the code. I'm going to put you in there right now. We're going to get you. Because I'm going to go get myself a snack. Then I'm going to go and come back to my desk. So let's get Low Spec Linux Gaming's channel in here. He might even have a scheduled stream. He does have a scheduled stream. It's upcoming in 8 minutes and 24 seconds. It's just like the launch of the Space Shuttle. So you can also do Low Spec Linux Gaming. And if you raid him, make sure you do hashtag DJ for president. No hashtag. You don't need a hashtag. But jokes aside, that's it. That's right. You all have a good night. Thanks again for tuning in. This is the final false start. Light bar activated or deactivated. I had to charge it last night to join on Jolly's show. I popped in the Snowed Up real briefly last night, and I had to charge the battery on this before jumping in. So with that being said, once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I hope you all have wonderful weekends. And with that being said, we shall